Ahoy hoy! I'm Rob.
And I'm Katie, and this is Care Compares.
Neat. Alright, what are we doing today? Because it's the nice winter months. It's actually, we're doing this a little bit later than we intended to.
Well, I mean, in some parts of the world, it is still kind of cold in March. So...
This is true.
Yeah,
Some parts of the world it's hot in March. Like Australia. Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yes, like Australia.
So what are we having?
We are having hot cocoa mixes to try.
Is there a difference in hot cocoa and hot chocolate?
Yeah, because I think
This one says hot chocolate.
Well, whatever. I think, well... Because when I think of chocolate, I think it's always like it has like shaved bits of actual like.
Oh, you're talking like a luxurious kind of fancy
Yeah.
chocolate with like the.
These are just powders, so they're cocoa powder and sugar, and that should be mostly it. But there's a lot of ingredients in here.
Are there really in all these?
Well, I don't think in this one.
Interesting. All right, so what are we looking at? We've got Silly Cow, which I love that name.
I just like the name and that it's in a glass container.
I love the glass container. I love the name. Cool. We have Ibarra.
Mm-hmm.
We have Nestle.
This was the smallest size they had. I mean, obviously you know them from like Swiss Miss and stuff.
Exactly. And we have Carlos the Fifth, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost said Carlos Cinque.
Carlos,
It's not
Carlos
Cinco.
Cinque. Carlos Cinco?
Yeah.
Carlos de Cinco. Of the Fifth. I don't know. Anyway, okay.
Because to be honest, I don't remember how old Nestle is. I did a whole big deep dive into a lot of
Nestle
their stuff
is one of the many problematic companies, I think.
Yeah, they didn't think water was a right.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Yeah.
Anyway, I think it was during our instant coffee episode way back when we did that in season 1. We did have a lot of fun facts about Nestle as a company if you're really interested in knowing about that. So they're just kind of a staple that you see in the American grocery store. So unfortunately, this was the biggest.
Big as the smallest.
This was the smallest size because America.
Then we have Carlos the Fifth, which is the French one, right? It's like, I am Carlos from the Fifth. I don't know.
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu indeed. Disfruta el sabor único de Carlos V Ahorra e Polvo. Enjoy the unique flavor of Carlos V, now in powder. Oh, that's what polvo is.
Yes.
In Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Yeah, because you saw that. They said it right there. It was highlighted.
It was so Carlos V is now I'm saying it like you. Whatever. So it's actually, and I did recognize this as like a candy bar because in our old neighborhood they had a lot of Mexican candies.
I mean, I remember they had.
That was a nail.
Yeah. I remember they had a candy bar.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, like we had seen this multiple times in the grocery store, and I was like, oh, I wonder if it tastes any differently. And then I didn't realize until after we got it that it's also owned by Nestle.
I expect nothing different between these two.
No, probably not.
And you don't want to do these two together.
I mean,
that's up to you.
We can.
I don't care.
Yeah, fine. Let's
All right,
do that.
so we're gonna compare the Nestle and the Carlos the Fifth
yes.
together then.
So it's obviously named in honor of Carlos V, who the Holy Roman Emperor, who introduced chocolate to the European courts.
Mm-hmm. So
he was known as El Rey de los Chocolates.
Which is funny because the Holy Roman Empire was not Holy Roman or an empire.
But it's a good name.
But it is a good name in the same way that the Romans said we were descended from the Trojans to add legitimacy to it.
Yeah.
Calling themselves Holy Roman Empire added a sense of legitimacy. Anyway.
Politics. So it was owned by a company called La Azteca from the 70s to the 90s, and then that's when Nestle bought it. So who knows? Maybe the chocolate tasted different way back then. I don't know.
I mean, probably did, honestly.
That's all I really know about.
I mean, interesting because yeah, I mean, like truthfully, they look
packaging's
identical. They come in little tin cans in red packaging.
And you know what? I just must have been tired when we bought this because I didn't even see the big old Nestle sign on top.
It says it on the front. It says it right here. Honestly, if I were Nestle, I'd probably hide the fact that it was Nestle just to give you the impression that
also, why is he so like computer generated?
I mean, I don't know, like little cartoony panels. I don't know. Whatever, trying to make them look cute and appealing.
No, because remember, like way back when, this is a completely side tangent, but when it, like cereals, like Lucky Charms and Snack Crackle and Pop and all that, you know, like they used to have personality and how like they were drawn and stuff, and now they all look the same in like these weird computer like.
I don't like it. Well, because it's easy. It's easy.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's easy. 3D model it, and then you can shift them however you want. Okay, so we've got Carlos V and Nestle.
Mm-hmm.
first impressions. We'll do this quick so they don't get too cold.
Okay.
So Carlos V called for 4 tablespoons, 8 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Nestle called for 2 tablespoons, 6 ounces. So
Correct.
It's actually probably an ounce too much, but whatever.
To be fair, though, it kind of needs the extra milk, in my opinion.
This one because of all the extra powder in it? That makes sense.
Well, that and not for I even mean with us overpouring slightly for the traditional Nestle is because it's still very chunky. Like the powder is very.
The Nestle didn't blend very well at all.
No.
It actually was kind of hydrophobic. Actually, that's to quote you between takes. We've also noticed that the Carlos has a kind of a darker brown kind of color to it. They smell the same. If you've ever had Nesquik or anything
that's
similar,
what it smells like.
They're both just like this. This one here, however, the Nestle is a lot whiter, which makes you think there's a lot more sugar in it. And actually, that kind of holds up nutrition facts, where 4 tablespoons of the Carlos is 100 calories, slightly more sugar than 2 tablespoons, which is 80 calories of the Nestle.
Yeah.
So clearly, that has a lot more filler than actual chocolate.
Yes.
So Carlos smells like a milky chocolate.
I was gonna say, it smells like a hot Nesquik.
I mean, basically. So does. I mean, they smell similar to me.
Well, because it's.
They're the same company.
Yeah.
So, all right, Carlos.
Yes.
Okay, salud. Huh. Interesting. It tastes like a chocolate cake, like at Starbucks. Like a hot chocolate, like a.
Okay. I can see what you're.
Right. So when we make a hot chocolate at home, we'll generally actually just take a really dark chocolate powder, mix in some sugar, some vanilla extract, a little bit of cinnamon, or actually even some spice. I've added cumin or chili powder to it to give it a little bit of heat, which I think is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So this for me is actually really boring.
Well, yeah, but it's for the everyman, right?
No, it's true.
I mean, it's probably also geared towards children.
Well, and if you like a darker chocolate, it doesn't matter how much this powder you put in this; it's not going to get any darker.
Because it's a lot of sugar.
Exactly. So it's got the sugar already in it, so it's not really. I mean, it's fine. Okay. Nestle.
It's not very appealing. Yeah. Just how it looks.
No, you're right. It's not appealing. It's really chunky. It's got some it hasn't blended. Which is
funny
well.
because it has less powder.
It has less powder. Similar amount of sugar to the 4 tablespoons. Although you're going to go through this a lot faster than you'd ever go through the Nestle if you follow the instructions.
It has a different mouthfeel. Like it's thicker.
It's thicker. That's weird.
Well, because you don't want a runny hot chocolate, but
you don't. If you want a thicker hot chocolate, but
something about it just doesn't seem
natural.
I've
been growing out my beard. I don't know if you knew that. You know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know that. But my beard starts shrinking the coffee or the chocolate before I do. by a good bit. So now it's just in. It's kind of like
the mustache.
I feel like a baleen whale, where I'm filter feeding through my mustache. Is that weird?
No.
No, it's not weird.
I don't know why that also just makes me think of Pinocchio when they got swallowed by the whale and then they had to
I have not seen that movie in a long time. That was a messed up scene.
It was.
Yeah. Anyway.
There was a lot of messed up stuff.
No, that movie was real messed up. I'll have to find it again though. If you gotta find the original one, if I haven't edited it down. Anyway, okay, so
out of these two, I would prefer the Carlos. Just because it was easier to mix. You can do that hot or cold is kind of how they advertise
you can do all. You can really do all these hot or cold. You can.
Something about it is, I think you could salvage it if you wanted to maybe doctor it up a little bit or
weird.
something. You can't get over the texture of the traditional.
It's weird.
Nestle.
The flavor on it, it's a different flavor a little bit. And I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't necessarily mind it. It's not good.
No, but it's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's something you could drink.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Carlos. It's not a big difference for me though. It's a slight difference.
Yeah.
I think the flavor on this is weird. It's just different, and so I kind of like that because it's a little bit different. But I think this one does in fact have the better flavor. Okay.
And then we have Ibarra, which is a Mexican brand. We've had them before.
Is it the
but not like this.
But Lito, that's
No, that's a different brand.
That's a different brand. Okay.
So they usually are. Well, at least when I think of them, I always think of them as having the discs.
Right.
But this is a
powdered
drink version.
Same green flavor as Ibarra hot chocolate drink tablets.
Yes. The
Which
tablets
sounds
are yummy.
It sounds like something you put in a toilet, though. Not a drink tablet, just a tablet. You drop a tablet in a toilet.
Urinal tablet.
Like, basically, yeah. But, okay.
So, yeah, as it says, I think on the cover, yeah, so it says since 1925, so it is Mexican. They are supposedly, they have genuine chocolate certification, so their entire...
What is a chocolate certification?
Some kind of a certification that's from...
For chocolate? No
Yeah.
fooling.
No,
Who would have thunk?
It's some... What is it called? NYC certification, evaluations of official Mexican standards.
Okay.
Or no, they have, they take their chocolate seriously. So it is a chocolate powder that contains a minimum of 18% total cocoa solids. So I have a feeling maybe that'll be...
That's actually not as much as I thought it would be.
Well, as a
I mean,
powder...
honestly, right?
True.
Like, that's 18% is not a lot of chocolate.
Well, chocolate solid.
The hell's
so
the difference?
I think it feels...
Solid?
No, it feels less like...
I mean, it's also like vacuum packed.
Yeah, but maybe it'll have a richer flavor than what I think like Nestle.
My expectations for Nestle is extremely low. Okay.
So that's all I know is that it's from Mexico and...
Sugar, cocoa paste, or cacao paste.
Yeah, which makes me think it's going to be more chocolatey and...
Cinnamon contains some soy somehow,
Ooh.
and soy lecithin.
It's just for preserving.
Emulsifying. There you go.
Whatever.
All right, so there's actually not a whole hell of a lot about either of these then.
Not really. I mean, so for the website for Ibarra, it did have a lot about like the health benefits of cocoa.
I mean, chocolate is known to be pretty good for you.
Yeah.
To
an
little
extent.
bit. But this also has sugar in it.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Or does it have sugar?
Yeah.
It does have sugar.
I think most of these are going to probably have the
17 grams of sugar for 2 tablespoons. Jeez.
Uh,
So, yeah, that's not good for you.
No.
Chocolate's good for you.
Chocolate's good for you,
Dark
but...
chocolate, specifically, is good for you.
Yes.
But, like, 2 ounces of dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, have these in moderation and...
You can find them on Facebook. Chocolate Bar.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, last one we have is Silly Cow Farms.
Purely
Uniquely
got it
Vermont.
on the name.
Naturally, it says.
Yes. No, I said we purely got it because it was in glass and
That's
it
true,
looked
yeah.
fancy and it was from Vermont and
Vermont knows their chocolate.
they do. Well,
Yeah. Well,
they're dairy.
They're dairy, yeah.
So supposedly they are allergen free. They also talk about like I guess the benefits of chocolate on their website. So they use natural cane sugar, which I'm pretty sure none of these other ones do. Maybe Ibarra does, but
Yeah.
at least not the Nestle ones. And they also use Dutch processed cocoa, which should be a little richer in how it tastes.
Okay.
They've been around since 2008. You started being able to see them in Whole Foods in about 2013-ish.
Okay.
And then 2019, they had 4 different flavors of water-soluble hot chocolate, like single-use packets, if you wanted to use them on the go.
Interesting.
That's all I know.
Well, really not a lot about any of these.
No.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, are you really, like, splitting hairs on which hot cocoa or hot chocolate mix you're gonna...
We're about to. That's literally what we're about to do.
No, I know, but I'm just saying the average person isn't probably gonna get 4 different kinds.
Well,
You know
that's
what?
why...
And it's really
not after
surprising-
watching this episode, they're not, because we're going to do that for them.
I'm just thinking, like...
Sugar Dutch processed cocoa with alkali semi-sweet chocolate,
Yeah.
sugar unsweetened chocolate cocoa butter.
Do you ever think, though, like, some of the people that are, like, checking us out at the Ralphs are probably like, what the heck are
Why
they
are they
doing?
buying
Why do
5
they
of
have
this?
4 different kinds
Why do they buy
of
8
this?
boxes of Pop-Tarts or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. This one says to place 2 heaping teaspoons of hot chocolate into your favorite mug. Slowly stir in very hot milk, top it with cream or dust. And it tells you here, where was it? Right here. 4 level teaspoons is equal to 2 heaping teaspoons.
I like that level of
Of detail.
scientific
You
measure.
appreciate that detail. Okay. 2 down, 2 remain. Who will prevail? Probably all 4 because they were not really going anywhere. Actually, the first one to go down is probably the one we like the most.
That's true.
Right? So, we've got Ibarra and Silly Cow Farms. What do we know? This looks more granulated because, as you said,
It has cane sugar.
it does have cane sugar.
Plus, it is the darkest out of all of them because it has Dutch processed cocoa.
Whatever that means. Do you know what Dutch processed cocoa means?
I did. I don't remember
You don't
it off
remember
the
that.
top of my head, but it is a difference in
Go.
like I
No, you don't
I
say.
can't remember.
Okay, and then we have Ibarra, which is an extremely fine powder, very light, and also you can see here it's also very light powder. This one also didn't stir quite as well, similar to the Nestle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They smell similar. They
But
actually both smell like chocolate, but
Yes.
go for it with
Okay.
the Ibarra. The Ibarra actually smells kind of like a dark chocolate bar, which is a nice little touch.
Plus, you can smell the cinnamon in it.
Yeah. Mmm.
That's nice.
You do get the cinnamon in that.
That's all in your mustache.
It's all in the mustache. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's in there. It's in there.
Oh, I think that's wise of them to also put the cinnamon in it because it does give an added warmth with like a little bit of sweetness and
Okay. Yeah.
there's at least a slight dimension of flavor.
Okay. Silly cow.
Let me
Oh.
take a.
Palate cleanser.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That actually
For those
looks-
wondering, these are mugs of vodka that we're using to cleanse our palates.
Yes. Sure.
What?
This one actually looks probably the most incorporated out of all of them.
I agree.
So.
Yeah.
Good on you.
I think
Santa.
incorporation, it's that, Carlos, the Ibarra, and then the Nestle.
I like that.
Well, that's weird. You like it?
Yeah.
The texture's not bad. It's got a weird flavor.
Well, maybe it's because I was more focused on the texture.
Yeah. It's got a slightly thicker texture. That flavor's a little strange for me.
I think it's quite subtle. I don't know what are you tasting?
No, it's the chocolate, but it's maybe them tasting the Dutch, all the Dutch people that are in it.
Just ground up.
I don't Dutch people. No, or maybe I'm tasting my own mustache at this point. Like, I've got the accumulated flavors of 3 other chocolates.
I don't mind it. Do I think it has a distinct flavor? Not particularly.
No, but compare it to
Is it like an aftertaste?
compare it to like this. No, it's immediate, and it's prevalent throughout. That just tastes like generic. Like that for me is like our most baseline. I think.
Because it's very sugary.
Yeah,
Is it a bitterness?
it's not bitter. Like it doesn't. I can't. Like a tanginess?
Tanginess.
I don't know. As soon as you sip it, there's something there.
Hold that thought.
Are we gonna have to? Are
No.
we gonna be looking this up? I have
wanna
to keep
look.
talking to waste time while you're looking up.
Okay, Dutch processed cocoa starts with cocoa beans that have been washed in alkaline solution of potassium carbonate. The wash neutralizes their acidity, so Dutch processed cocoa is neutral. As it is neutral, it does not react with baking soda. It is often paired with baking powder. Okay.
So maybe that wash has clearly affected something.
Maybe it did affect the
I
taste.
can taste a difference. I don't know if I love it.
Well, because that's why I said I thought it tasted more neutral. I thought it was mellow.
I mean it's mellow, but there's something there that feels off.
Key differences: flavor. Dutch processed cocoa tends to have a milder, smoother flavor with less pronounced acidity. It is often described as slightly earthy or woodsy, whereas regular cocoa has a brighter, more pronounced chocolate taste.
As I sip through it though, it's less noticeable.
Mm.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, so what do we think of these two?
I mean, let's be honest. If I'm going to do this,
You started and abandoned 3 sentences.
yes, I did. Because we would never usually buy these. It was
We would
just,
never buy these.
out of
Well,
curiosity.
so that's a final thought.
That's a
just
final
between
thought, but after
these two.
these two, probably Ibarra.
Really? I feel like you said you preferred this one though initially.
No, I liked how well it mixed and the mouthfeel.
Uh-oh.
But I like that this one has
Cinnamon.
cinnamon in it because it has something going on.
Okay. I actually prefer this one.
Really?
Because you can add cinnamon to this.
That's true. But I thought you didn't like the taste.
I'm not. It's weird. It's weird, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, I don't like any. Well, right now, in your face, we have final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts. Yeah, you thought that cut was weird,
Yeah.
but is that not fine? I think it's fine. We'll cut right there. Do final thoughts right now. Okay, let's talk. Let's kibitz.
Okay.
Lenny. Crap.
Why did you throw that?
Just to move it out of the way.
Just cover it. I know we're both accident prone.
We both?
Yes.
No.
Both of us are accident prone. Fine.
We can do that later off camera, so we're not wasting time on camera.
Fine. Yeah. Okay, you can fix this because it's all messed up now. Making a point. Okay. So.
Well, we didn't get the other one.
Who cares about Nestle?
We need to pull it up.
Fine. Okay. So, Nestle obviously.
Well, you have to get Nestle mug.
Nestle is number 4. It looks gross even now that it's cooled.
Is this you're just deciding for both of us? Nestle's the worst.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay, then Carlos Cinco.
I
agree.
agree.
It was fine, but eh.
Scooch him.
Okay.
And then you and I are flipped on
Well, because I could see merits to both.
Okay.
But I also think this one. So, if we're also talking about price and stuff,
Are we? Well, we can talk about price in a second.
Fine.
But just in terms of, like this was the hardest to mix. This was not the easiest to mix. These two mixed just fine. Flavor wise, this is boring. This is whatever. This at least has cinnamon. This has something unique going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it is. I think with this one, you can actually update this one quite a lot. I mean,
True.
it's chocolate truffle. So I don't usually put mushrooms in my chocolate, but I can see what they were doing there. Anyway, but you can do stuff with these. Like honestly, every single one of these, we have so much of these. You guys want chocolate because you can have chocolate. Like it's going to take us a while.
Look up how to. Maybe I can bake with these, or
it's going to take us a while to go through these.
Okay,
maybe
so
we'll give them away,
gonna,
or so. I don't know.
They're not going to go bad.
They're not going to go bad. But I would much rather just buy a dark chocolate Hershey's, whatever container that we usually do, mix up with milk, some vanilla extract and sugar, and that's it. Like it's a stronger chocolate flavor. It tastes better than all of these, honestly.
Well, then it's usually you can whisk out all of the lumps and other things too.
This is
so
true.
It's,
I mean that actually, and that's easy enough to whisk out. Okay, so then let's talk price.
Okay.
So Nestle for 27 ounces.
Or 39 delicious servings, it is $7.99.
For Nestle 2.0 at 14 ounces.
It was $4.49.
You said this was 7?
Mm-hmm. $7.99.
Okay, so this is going to be the most bang for your buck, no question.
Yeah.
All right, Ibarra with 11.5 ounces.
It was $5.49.
Getting more expensive.
Yes.
And finally, Silicao at... Did it actually tell you?
Did it tell you on this? I don't know. All I know is it makes 27 servings. And it is certified gluten-free.
Interesting. I mean, whatever. Okay.
They have to say it
Sure.
because a lot of things...
Okay, and how much is this?
That was $9.49. That's why I'm saying even though it's got, like... This one is probably... You're gonna find it in most U.S. grocery stores.
13 servings. How many servings did we say this was?
27.
I mean,
this is still technically cheaper then, I guess.
Technically, this might be cheaper because you're using less of it. That's the thing too. Worth knowing is this calls, if you're following the instructions, this calls for not only is this container smaller and more expensive, it calls for twice as much powder.
True.
In the drink as opposed to this. So this is going to last you a long time. This might actually be a little bit cheaper if you follow the instructions. Now, if you just start scooping...
Most people are just doing reckless abandon. They're not measuring out like we were for science.
Well, we can't say most people. We have no idea what most people are doing. But yeah, we would just do reckless abandon.
Right. If I was doing it, I probably wouldn't be like...
So if you're gonna buy one again, based on flavor alone, what do you buy? You only get to choose one. The other three go away to oblivion. Pick one. Pick one. 5,
Fine,
4.
maybe
All right,
this.
you go with that one?
Maybe
Okay, and if price is a consideration, it's still,
this one or this one.
well, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
But, okay. Yeah, so even though, like, this seems expensive.
Oh, because I also don't know how many grocery stores have that. So
That's true, too. I mean, I like the glass. I like that. You know, the other thing with the Ibarra, I think that's worth mentioning. Just, the package is happy, kind of nice. I think the chocolate disc might just be better.
Yeah, because we've
But-
had that before and we liked it.
Right. But I would also say, like, this is actually harder to work with. Admittedly, if you're using a teaspoon, this is actually not too bad because a teaspoon fits fine in the jar.
Mhm.
In these, the containers are large enough, have a large enough opening that you can actually scoop easily. This is actually going to be a problem as you get towards the end. You're going to have to stick your whole hand in this to scoop out 2 tablespoons
Mhm.
If you're doing that. Or you can do like what we do with some of our other dry goods and have like a mason jar that you just dump it into and you can scoop from that. That would make sense. But this packaging is probably not ideal for scooping. So,
Okay,
there you
got that.
go. That's all I got. What kind of milk did we use
Milk?
for this? Because you can also make it with water.
Oh, oh God.
Yeah, no,
Why
don't,
would you
don't
ever
never do that. Never do that. We use, for the record, we used Fairlife, non-fat milk.
That is lactose free.
Yes.
So.
It's actually pretty good milk. But we did use the non-fat stuff. If you want a richer drink, you could use
I
the full
mean,
fat.
definitely go
but-
for the full fat milk. That would be so much better.
I mean, if you're going to doctor these up, what are you adding? Cinnamon, maybe some like chili powder,
no, I mean,
or something to give it a
like
little
cinnamon,
heat.
maybe some cayenne.
You could do clove if you want to do something a little bit different. Nutmeg, dust with nutmeg. One of
Just
these,
try things out.
one of these, yeah, this one here, Silly Cow recommends you actually dust with hot chocolate, like dust the top of it as well. So
That'd be nice.
I mean, they're not bad, but just make it at home. You could probably do it for. I mean, it's probably a little more expensive to make it home yourself if you're buying like dark chocolate and you're mixing it in. But if you're just
Yeah,
looking
but I
for something-
mean, how often are you? I mean, I guess it depends. How often are you actually partaking in these kinds of beverages?
well, either way, you have to heat milk
yes.
to do this. So it's not even like and you're taking the powder and you're adding it to the
Well,
milk. And
most people
stirring it.
probably would not do what we did, which was on the stovetop.
Right.
I think a lot of times people would just be like
Microwave
pouring
milk.
it. Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing though. You're going to be heating the milk regardless of what you're using,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I mean, you're adding a powder to it.
Mm-hmm.
The only other step to doing it from scratch is to add like a couple.
To measure it out.
Well, no, not to measure out, but to add a teaspoon or tablespoon of sugar.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. So if you're going to do this, you're already heating milk. You're already mixing it with powder. Just get a dark chocolate mix. Add a little bit of sugar to that. There you go, and you already have a better drink with or without the vanilla extract. I think.
Oh, I agree.
Okay. Don't forget to check us out in all of these places.
Sorry, I'm still like paying attention to you going. Because in the viewfinder, it looked like you were kind of matrixy, but not.
I don't know why I made wind sounds. I've got nothing else. Do you?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Going to partake in
One
some of these.
Some of these.
Maybe.
I guess we'll figure out. These will sit on our shelves for a while. I want to use one of these mugs. Here, you can. Whatever. I want a fancy mug.
Okay.
We'll have to buy another one of these. I am Rob.
And I am Katie.
I thought you were gonna toast with that can.
No, not that one. Wouldn't
Just
advertise
drink
that.
powder. Yeah. I mean, it's all Nestle. It's half of this is Nestle. I'm Rob. This is Katie. You're watching Kara Compares for now, but not in a minute because we're about to be on. Bye, friends.
We'll see you next time.